Hi guys, it's Megan Farrell with the Megan Farrell Team at Watson Realty Corp. Doing our vlog series. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Today I'm sitting here with Lawrence from South Country Home Inspection. We're going to talk about one of the contingencies that comes up in our purchase and sale contract, which is the contingency of a home inspection. Today Lawrence and I are going to discuss why it's so important to get a home inspection, what you should look for in a home inspector, and kind of just discuss why those qualities are so important. So, I mean, it might seem obvious, but why should we get a home inspection, Lawrence?
Well, I think the obvious answer would be definitely because nobody wants to get stuck buying a money pit. No home buyer wants to buy a house and then be stuck with a bunch of unpleasant surprises after they move in. So it's imperative that when you choose your home inspector, you choose a home inspector that's going to do a true, thorough job. And what I mean by true is they're going to crawl around the whole entire attic. They're going to walk the entire roof. They're going to do a really thorough inspection on your electrical panel by taking it off and inspecting the wiring and how it's connected. Just go that extra step, go that extra mile, because again, nobody wants to be stuck with unpleasant surprises. And I'm sure as a realtor you can agree that you don't want callbacks from your clients a month or two after the inspection's done, or after they moved in rather, and they're saying, hey, you know, this inspector missed X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, it's definitely important to get that done. And what are some qualities that we should be looking for when we're choosing a home inspector?
I think communication. And I think communication is just as important as a thorough inspection, because the way that a home inspector can explain an issue can really make or break a deal. And really, when it comes to explaining an issue, there's nothing that can't be fixed in a house. Nothing. From foundation to roof, any issue that you could think of. But a lot of times, if a home inspector explains that there's, let's say, an issue at the electrical panel with the wiring, it could be a really simple fix. It might only cost $30 for the part, you know, and maybe $100 for labor, let's just say. It's something very simple, but if they don't word it correctly and explain and take that time to explain to the client exactly what's going on and exactly the steps to fix it, I think what a lot of home inspectors tend to do is they just go ahead and they say what's going on, and they go into a scenario or a potential of what kind of a safety hazard it can cause, and then that's it. So now you have a home buyer who may not be too familiar with lingo for, you know, building materials and construction and whatnot. So now when they read this comment, all they see is we have an electrical issue. It can be a major safety hazard, has to be fixed. You know, and to them, a regular home buyer is just going to think, oh man, we're going to have to rip out all the electrical wiring in this house. This is going to be a big problem and too expensive. Let's not buy the house. So now what that inspector did was they just deterred a perfectly good home buyer from buying a perfectly good house.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to miss out on a home because of, you know, being informed about what the issue is improperly. You know, things like the word roof, plumbing, electrical, like you said, and mold can be really scary words. So I can definitely agree with you that it's important to have someone who's very thorough and explains it appropriately.
Absolutely.
Now, when you're doing a home inspection, do you just explain through your report at the end, or how do you communicate best with your customers as buyers?
Well, if the client is present at the inspection, normally what we would do is we'll do our inspection. We have a routine which we don't want to deviate from because we don't want to miss anything. So we'll conduct the inspection, and then at the end of the inspection, we walk around with the buyer and we point out and explain to them anything that we found. And we also provide home maintenance tips and things that would be beneficial to the home buyer to know about the home. But we explain everything to them right there. And for our out-of-town clients or the clients that are not present, we call them after the inspection is done, and we go over the inspection findings with them over the phone. And again, you know, we just tell them the simple precautions they need to take to rectify whatever issues were found. And you know, I got a perfect story as far as like mold goes. if you find mold in the house, it doesn't mean that the house should be condemned. It doesn't mean that it should be, closed off to the world and you shouldn't buy it. I find mold in houses very often, and it just happens in different areas of the home. The air conditioner can leak, and there could be mold.
Sometimes it gets humid in Florida. Sometimes,
Humidity,
occasionally.
climate definitely affects it. So no matter how the issue arose for mold, there's a way to take care of it. There's a way to remediate it, there's a way to treat it, and there's a way to correct the issue. So I think by just explaining to the client exactly what needs to be done, and I've had a couple of deals where there was mold in the home, and I've just explained to them exactly what needs to be done, what steps to take, and they took those steps, and now they're happy in the home.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lawrence, for stopping by today.
Absolutely.
That's just our little brief introduction to home inspections. We'll have Lawrence back on with us to, kind of go into different scenarios that could occur during the home inspections and how to be prepared for those. So again, thank you for stopping by. It's Megan Farrell, and we look forward